Plaintiff Shelley McCormick is suing her ex-husband, Charles McCambridge, for pain and suffering due to an assault and harassment. Shelley says Charles kicked her in the stomach while she was pregnant, abused her daughter, and held her at gunpoint for 2 hours. But Charles is countersuing for emotional distress because he says his ex-wife has lied to the police about him. Charles claims the plaintiff used cocaine through 2 of her pregnancies and attacked him with a 2x4.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Jeanine Pirro presiding. You may be seated.
Okay, Rochelle McCormick is suing Charles McCambridge. He is her ex-husband. She is suing him for pain and suffering due to assault and harassment. And the defendant is countersuing his ex-wife for emotional distress. Let's start with you, Rochelle. When did you meet your husband?
I met him in 1988. We became friends. About a year later, we started dating. I became pregnant in 1991 and we married. I already had my daughter. She was about a year old from a previous relationship. The abuse started from day one. I can remember a time when I was about 5 months pregnant with my son. And I don't know what I even did, but I remember him grabbing me by the hair, throwing me out in the hallway, kicking me in the stomach, grabbing my
When you were pregnant?
When I was 5 months pregnant with my son.
What did you, was the baby okay?
Yes, the baby was okay. I left him on a lot of occasions, but like abusive women, I always went back. He controlled me and I lived in fear.
Did you call the police? Did you make any reports?
I do have some reports. I never called the police during those times. My daughter called the police at one incident.
Why didn't you call the police?
I don't know. I didn't know what he would do to me when I did after the police left.
How long did you live with the defendant?
13 years.
Go ahead.
Okay. Charles would freebase cocaine on a daily basis in our bathroom. Strange men
Your
would
Honor,
come.
we were both addicts.
I was not an addict.
The whole marriage.
You're not an addict?
No, Your Honor. Strange people, men, would come in and out of our house that I didn't know. They looked like gangbangers to me. It was started to become very, very scary and very uncomfortable.
So throughout the course of the marriage, there was drug usage going going You say by both of you.
She introduced me to cocaine when I was
true,
about
Your Honor.
25.
That is a lie. Total lie.
All right.
Total lie. I was a very good mother and my kids were everything. Shannon could testify to one of the beatings when she had to call the police, and she actually was assaulted by him. If you would like her to
Shannon,
testify.
why don't you step up? How old are you?
I'm 21.
What was it like growing up in this house?
It was a nightmare. It was
Why?
awful. I would sleep with the phone in my hand every night that I went to bed because I would wake up to her screaming from him beating her. One morning I went downstairs and I saw him punching her and
Where
kicking
was he
her
punching her?
in the face. And I saw him kicking her in her side. And I went back up the stairs and I finally had enough courage to call the police. And I dialed 911 and I told the operator that my stepfather was beating up my mom. He heard me on the phone upstairs and he said, Shannon, he was cursing at me, get down here right now. And I was shaking and I hung up the phone real fast with the operator. I went down the stairs. As I was coming down the stairs, he was coming up the stairs and he took my head and banged it up against the wall on the stairs. I had a huge lump on my head. The police arrived, and he said, while he did that, he said, you better lie to them. You better tell them nothing happened. Otherwise, when they leave, things will be a lot worse.
Let me ask you a question. He was beating you, okay,
Yes.
and you hear him screaming at your daughter. He leaves you to go after your daughter. What do you do when he's going after your daughter?
I was screaming at him to leave her alone and begging and pleading with him to leave her alone.
Okay. Did you see him hit her head against the wall?
I seen him slam her up against the wall, yes.
And what did you do about that?
I was like, what are you doing? Leave her alone, leave her alone.
But the police come, is that right?
The police came.
What do you
yes.
tell the police?
And I told him we had an argument and everything was okay.
He did that to your daughter, and you told the police everything was okay. I can almost get if you don't want to talk about your abuse, but when he puts his hands on your daughter,
right,
and the police are there within minutes, and then you lie to protect him.
I know.
What am I supposed to think?
It was awful. That's how he controlled me.
What did you tell the police?
I lied to them. I told them they were just fighting. I was just scared and I called.
And did you have any injuries, Rochelle?
I always had bruises and injuries.
And when the police came and saw the bruises, what did they do?
They weren't there yet.
They didn't see the bruises. They were, a lot of times he hit me and kicked me in the stomach. I had, bruised ribs.
Did you know about this?
I did know about it.
Step up here. Tell me your name. What is your name?
My name is Marie Jara.
And you're
her mother.
Her mother, Rochelle's mother. All right. During the course of this marriage, what, if anything, did you see?
I saw him one day. I was over there. We were having dinner, going to have dinner. Something set him off. He took the pan off the stove, was going to pour it over her head. My husband was there. We intervened. We stopped him. He looked at me. He said, you know what? He said, if I could take my own life, because he had tried to commit suicide, I can take anybody's life.
What did you do about that?
I got the kids out of the house.
Did you ever call Child Protective Services?
I did not because
Why?
of her. Your Honor, I was like waiting for that phone call that every mother dreads.
Well, you know what?
I know.
have to tell you, I empathize with your situation, but not that much. Because you're a grown woman.
I understand.
And you know what's going on. And if it is indeed as bad as you say it was, you have an obligation as a mother, not involved with him the way your daughter is, to protect your granddaughter. Sit down. My biggest concern is your safety and your mom's safety. And I want to get to the bottom of how we got to the point where there was all this abuse, alleged abuse right now, and I don't have any police reports.
I have police reports.
You do? Good.
Yes.
Let me see the police reports.
The day that I never forget was when I was woken by him out of bed one morning by gunpoint. And he dragged me into the garage and held me there for 2 hours by gunpoint.
Never happened, Your Honor.
It never happened. That's why he was convicted guilty and served 100 days.
Good. All right. This is what I want to see.
He put the gun to my head, held me hostage for 2 hours, shot the gun off repeatedly at the things in the garage, the TV, bottles, put the gun to my head at one point and said he was going to kill me and then kill himself.
Well, there's a .38 caliber in this complaint against you.
There's no gun in the evidence.
Oh, there isn't?
No, there is not. That's
What
a
am
fact.
I looking at? This is an accusatory instrument.
I've never read that report.
I don't care. I read it. All right. You use drugs?
I'm rehabilitated. I've been clean for 2 years and 7 months now.
Well, that's one good thing about you so far. Go ahead.
She says she does not use drugs, Your Honor. I have, in fact, a tape that can prove otherwise.
What kind of a tape?
It's a videotape.
That proves that she uses drugs?
Yes, she admits
You
it
say
on
you
the
don't
tape.
use drugs?
Your Honor, that tape he made me do, it was when I left him and he threatened me because I had so much on him and he didn't want me to go to the police with him. So he's like, you better do this or I'm not letting you leave the house.
I want to see the tape. I want to see the tape.
You know I'm not in the mood, Chuck, when I do this. Why I didn't want to do it? Yeah, I understand.
This is what you want.
I want my wife.
Well, I told you, you know I'm not in the mood when I'm partying.
That's what I want you to smoke. Not you, yourself. I want you to enjoy yourself.
Because I don't when I'm on.
I love you, Sean. I love you.
I know.
Do we really have to watch this?
All right, turn it off. Let me ask you a question. That videotape that I just saw, what were you on?
Okay, I don't want to be disgusted, but that was my time of the month that I was talking about.
How could you be on your time
Well,
of the
that's
month?
how I put it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever kick her in the stomach when she was pregnant?
Never, Your Honor.
Look, if you're freebasing cocaine, you're hanging around with gangbangers. I mean, half the time you probably don't know what the heck you're doing.
No, I
lie to
never
me.
did hang out with gangbangers, but
Where'd
I
you
did
get the
hang out
cocaine
with people who, well, they weren't gangbangers, but
Yes.
I did
Regular
get cocaine.
upstanding citizens?
No. But I'd like to go back on the incident of when she was pregnant in the first pregnancy with our son. During the pregnancy, she did do cocaine throughout the pregnancy, on both pregnancies, all the way up to
That's such a
about
lie, Your
8
Honor.
months. At the 8.5-month period, when she did stop using, she came out in the garage, seen some friends of mine and I partying in the garage. She got very upset, picked up a 2x4, proceeded to strike me with it, and I have a scar right
my
there
God.
where she hit me in the head with it.
Unbelievable.
Did you go to the hospital?
No, I did not.
Did you call the police?
No, I didn't.
What do you want to say? What's
My
your
name
name?
is Michelle Trevino.
Who are you?
She's my
was a
husband's
friend.
now ex-wife, sir.
Did you just say she's your husband's ex-wife?
Yes.
Not that husband.
No, her father. I remarried him when I divorced him.
You remarried her father.
Well, I married
Okay,
him.
give me a name.
Mike.
Mike is her father?
Yes.
Are you married?
I was married to him. I was with him for a total of 11 years.
So both of you were with Mike? Okay, so who are you with now?
I've known these people.
No, answer my question.
He stays with me. He stays with me ever
So
since.
you with him?
He got everything.
Is this a small town? Is there a lack of men in this town? So you two don't like each other right off the bat because you both slept with the same men.
For 35 years, I've known them, Your Honor, and we all were involved in drugs. So for them to, even down to Marie, when Rochelle says that she wanted to leave Chuck because of the abuse, that's not true because she was cheating with my husband for about a year.
A
little over a year. She admitted it to me that she was cheating with my husband.
A lie.
What about what she's talking about with the gun? You were convicted.
I didn't have much of a choice but to take a plea of guilty to get out of jail sooner because at the time she was attempting to get a court order to sell my home. She also was my payee at the time and had stolen $18,456.80. Just before I was incarcerated, I didn't even know that she had the money. She lied to me. And then when I did find out, I did in fact call her while the order of protection is in effect and ask her, where's my money? She called and had another charge put on me.
She's suing you for assault. You know why you're lucky today? Because the statute of limitations in 2004 doesn't allow her to sue you for assault. I think that there's a lot of problems at this end. I think there's a lot of dysfunction. But at the end of the day, you get away with it because of the statute of limitations, and I hate that. I hate when the law gets in the way of justice. Now, you're saying that she had you illegally arrested and that therefore she harassed you. You were arrested, you were convicted, that's it, end of the story.
I didn't have a choice, Your Honor.
I don't care, you're convicted. Don't come back and complain to me. Now, both claims have to be dismissed. But that doesn't do anybody any good because you just came in here and vented. And if you leave here and vent, then all you're going to do is start it all over again. Here's the bottom line. She's with your husband. You're with her husband. All right? Mom, you've got Shannon and the other kids. You got a family unit now. You're not involved in drugs anymore. And you're clean.
Yes, I am.
Stay out of her face.
I've been for...
All right?
Yes.
But this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to give $500 to Shannon. All right? Shannon is not a party here, but I'm giving you $500. I want you to take that $500, Shannon, and I want you to take that money and work at a battered women's shelter and give that money away to women who've been battered to help them. You remember what it was like when you were with your mom. You remember what it was like, how you felt. Maybe there are kids in a shelter who maybe need a present, maybe need a hair blower or something. I'm going to give you that money so you can give it away because you know what? You're the victim here. These two should be ashamed of themselves.
Thank you.
So ordered.